Hey everyone, it's Sean O'Connell, the managing director here at CinemaBlend, and we are back on our Westworld grind. I am racing through the episodes in seasons 1 and 2 so that we can set up and do live reactions to Westworld season 3 together, and we're going to do it here on the CinemaBlend YouTube page. I am up to episode number 7. I think we have, so that's 3 episodes, 7, 8, no, I keep getting that wrong. 4 episodes left of season 1, which means that by all rights, the way you design a full season of a series is this is when things should sort of shift into a higher gear, start stepping on the gas, getting us through some really exciting conclusions to the storylines that they've set up. But with Westworld, you never really know. It could be teasing things that are going into season 2. I've also come to realize that with Westworld, you don't necessarily know what to trust, who's lying to who, what's real, what isn't. It's that type of show. So I'm excited to see what we learn in episode number 7, which I'm told is called Trompe L'Oeil, something? Trompe L'Oeil. That's a complicated word to say. Hopefully they will pronounce it in the episodes. Let's find out together. I'm going to press play on episode 7 of season 1. You're going to hit the subscribe button and you're going to turn on your notifications because we're posting these daily as we get up to the season premiere of season 3, and we're going to watch that together. So without further ado, let's keep watching the first season of Westworld with episode number 7. Are you ready? Here we go.
Wake up.
Where were we?
The madman.
Oh, of course.
I think every episode up to this point has began with a host waking up.
Everything would be nonsense.
Which makes me
Nothing
think
would be what it is, because everything would be what it isn't.
If I had a world of my own, everything would be what it isn't.
No. Charlie, have you seen Elsie?
No, according to the system, she started her leave today.
It's about time we caught up with these guys.
My friend wanted... I guess he wanted to see what was at the end of all this.
William?
We're in Ghost Nation territory. Savage tribe there is. Train's you on the way through.
Oh, Elsie got grabbed. I forgot. I was trying to think back to what happened to her. Maybe give him a few minutes.
I'm sorry, I thought you requested a meeting. My mistake.
I did. Let me remind you of something. Our interest in this place is entirely in the intellectual property, the code.
The host's minds.
It's our little research project that Delos cares about. That's where the real value is. 35 years of information, raw information, exists here. Nowhere else. Ford has always ensured that. Tell me, why would we need you to secure all of it?
Because you're going to fire him.
So you and I need to ensure that by the time the rest of the board arrives, we're on course for that transition. But the gods, they require a blood sacrifice. We need to demonstrate just how dangerous Ford's creations can be.
You're not going to be able to outthink Ford. Or Shaw, as I sometimes like to call him. Maybe Charlotte is the adversary that was titled in the previous episode. Imagine the frustration of a daily, well, not daily, but a Groundhog Day loop like this. I guess it'd be like working at some place like Disney if you were an employee at the parks. Oh. Is Ford there? Oh.
Which one is it? It's the one at the bar. We got her. Let's go.
Go, 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 go. Follow them.
The only thing I had when I was a kid were books. This place, this is like I woke up inside one of those stories.
I don't want to be in a story. All I want is to not look forward or back. I just want to be.
Wow, that's really cool.
The place you're after, I will help you find it, but I can't stay. I have a life waiting for me. I'm sorry.
Do you, though?
Of course.
Stay in the story. Start a new life. Has anyone done that? Is that what the Man in Black has done? You have to get out?
How can I go back to pretending when I know what this feels like?
Do you know how many people have probably fallen for Dolores over the years? She's the original. This place seduces everyone. Dude, she's synthetic. She's an AI. She's programmed to adapt her narrative to whatever the visitor wants.
Apparently, Miss Cullen and Miss Hale have a presentation for us.
Following the recent reports of host malfunction, we asked QA to check the last abortive update, which featured the reveries. Miss Cullen and her team uncovered some worrisome findings.
Wake her up.
Not much of a ride on you.
All right, that's enough. And as you can see, behavioral safeguards are operating exactly as you would expect. Reset her. Wipe her memory.
So messed up.
Not much of a ride on you.
Oh! Oh!
Freeze all motor functions.
Oh. What did you shoot, though?
In each case, we examined the malfunctioning hosts were not resetting properly. The concern with the reveries is that the host will remember some of their experiences and act on them. And what was most troubling to me was that several techs in behavior voiced these exact same concerns to the head of their department.
Then you're fired.
Oh, come on. Is he set up?
I used to think this place was all about pandering to your baser instincts. It doesn't cater to your lowest self. It reveals your deepest self.
I've been saying
Shows
that!
who you really are.
Get the... That's exactly what I've been saying.
You've unlocked something in me.
The park has unlocked something in you.
What is that?
Programmed to bring out everything
I don't
that the visitors need.
Place where the mountains meet the sea.
Oh boy. Watch out. Yo! Things are about to get hairy.
What is it?
The Confederados.
Light it up. Some poor production designer worked so hard on that train. And they just destroy it. Oh! Nice. Oh! Nice shooting, William. See? And that was Dolores on the horse in the opening credits. I think. Oh, boy. Indians?
Ghost Nation!
Ghost Nation. Whew. Things went from bad to worse. Wow, that looks amazing. Look at that. I don't care how much Westworld cost to film. It's so worth it.
Stop, William, stop!
Will they get to the end of the park?
It's real.
Because you've been there.
It's the place you drew.
You're heading west, across that river. You're gonna be in unclaimed territories. Ain't nothing ever come back from there.
Ooh. It reminds me of like Cabin in the Woods, right? Like you can go so far, but then you run into a barrier and it stops you from progressing. Is that what this park is like?
She's here. Let's go. Is there a problem?
Oh, lobotomy time. Oh, up the nose. Ugh. Again, you're a host. I keep falling for this. It's like working on a computer. Stupid. So stupid. I keep falling for that.
Have a word.
Bernard, you've been fired.
Little show you and Hale put on. Completely transparent from a technical perspective. Clumsy to the point of making me embarrassed for you.
Embarrassed?
If I saw through it, I can only imagine what Ford was thinking. That's why I need to show you something.
I'm getting out of here. You two are going to help me. Because if you don't help me, I'll kill you.
There's a problem in the park. Should we bring a security team?
Who will we trust? Thought I could trust you, for instance.
Sick burn. Oh, is she gonna show him Ford's family? Is he gonna show her?
This building isn't in any survey of the park.
That's because we use hosts to do most of the surveys. They're programmed to ignore this place. They literally couldn't see it if they were staring right at it.
What's behind this door?
What door?
Bernard can't see it. He's programmed not to. Totally in on Bernard being a host.
What is this place?
It's a remote diagnostic facility.
Here it is, here it is, here it is. This is the reveal. Bernard.
Have you seen these?
Ah! I told you.
It doesn't look like anything to me.
Ah!
They cannot see the things that will hurt them. Freed of the burden of self-doubt.
All right, I kind of called that.
I can't be. My wife. I was a father.
All the backstory? Teresa's like, am I real? Am I a host?
The hosts are the ones who are free, under my control.
But he's not under your control. He brought me here to show me this.
No, he brought you here because I asked him to. I simply wanted to tell my stories. It was you people who wanted to play God for your little undertaking.
Do you really think the board will stand for this?
The board will do nothing. The situation demands a blood sacrifice. I'm afraid our guest has grown weary. Perhaps you can help her, Bernard.
Eternal rest.
No, please.
Oh! Damn!
You should be getting back, Bernard. We have a great deal of work to do on the new storylines.
I want to know what the new storylines are. Jeffrey Wright. Stone Killer. Woo! Spectacular episode. Spectacular episode. After 6, which I called a little bit of a disappointment because I felt like it was rushing through things, this was a beautifully paced episode of Westworld, where just a ton of really fascinating story points came to a head. And I'm going to pat myself on the back ever so slightly for calling the Bernard is a host. Now, all right, fine. So I said it's either Bernard or Ford. I kind of figured one of the two of them was hiding in plain sight, right? But that's a great reveal, and goes to show, which I said earlier, you're not going to outthink Ford. Like, he's put this entire park together. He's conceived this entire game. It's making me even wonder how, because again, like now you're just questioning who is real in this entire experience. And it makes me wonder if even everyone in the lab, all the lab techs, how many of them are legit humans who are working, or are they part of the experience? Like, is all of it, is everything that you come out into the labs also fake, right? Fake or artificial or programmed by Ford and Arnold to a certain extent. And I'm wondering, are we ever going to get to meet Arnold? God, I kind of want to know if we're going to get to meet Arnold. Yeah, but it's just, it's funny. Like, we watch William move further along in the game, but like, to what end? Because like, it's funny. Like, he gets closer to war, but he's going farther into the game than he thinks most people have gone, but that's probably not true. I would assume that many people have gotten that far in the game. And then here he falls for Dolores, but he almost forgets in the moment there that he is just a player in a game that's been going on for decades. And Dolores, being the original, has probably seduced and fallen for countless visitors who think that they are the first ones to win her over, essentially. So he forgets, but she has a line which I thought was really, really fascinating and somewhat heartbreaking. And again, I'm falling for the fact that these are not humans. They have such realistic human qualities that you get tricked into the fact that they have feelings and emotions. And Dolores says, I don't want to be in a story anymore. Like, she's a part. She's a piece on a chessboard that's being moved around by a new player every single time. And you don't know if when she says that, whether she believes it or whether it's a scripted line that she's supposed to say to further seduce the guest who she's currently on the current story with. God, it's such a mind mess. Oh, God, there's a lot going on. Which then makes you even wonder, like, as Maeve is breaking free, is she honestly breaking free? Or is that part of a larger game? Is that another layer, another level? In what is just the show has taught me to question everything, essentially. And so even when let's talk about the board for a little bit, and let's talk about Charlotte showing up. I don't know if Charlotte's real. Like, I don't know if she is an actual person who's representing an actual board, or if Ford brought her in as a way to sort of lure Teresa out. But I think that there's probably something in truth to the fact that the board is not necessarily interested in the park as a park on the most simplest of terms, but are far more interested in the value of the code that Ford and Arnold created, because those concerns sound legit. Those concerns sound like something that a corporation would legitimately be saying, in the fact that, like, hey, everything's locked up in this one guy who seems to know all of it, and he's never allowed us to back up any of his data. He's never explained to us the intricacies of the park. We don't necessarily know the coding, and the coding can be used in other applications outside of Westworld, the idea of the Westworld park. And so I could see a board trying to come in and strong arm the guy who's the creative mind behind this, to say, like, hey, there's far more value in your code than just what you're building here in this park. But Ford has no interest in that. He only, as he said to Teresa before she exited the game in vicious fashion, I just wanted to tell my stories, right? And you people are too busy overthinking it and getting greedy and reaching beyond the scope of what, like, why can't we just run the park? Why can't we just make all of our money, $40,000 a day, from people who are coming? So, God, all of that's so fascinating. It's so fascinating because I can't wait to see how it's resolved. I can't wait to see what the truths are, and who is ultimately deceiving who. And we're going to start to figure out in the last 3 episodes, I would assume. Dolores and William reach what they call the end of the river. It makes me wonder. I was starting to explain. It's like Cabin in the Woods. Like, there's a great scene in that movie, Cabin in the Woods. Not that this is a spoiler, but in case you haven't seen Cabin in the Woods, where essentially they get to the end of the experiment. They can't go any further. Something's stopping them. And I am curious if Westworld has a moment where you get to, like Truman Show, right? Like when Truman gets to the end and he finds a staircase because he's reached the end of the simulation. I would really like to know if Westworld has the end of the simulation. I don't think that anyone's going to be able to outthink Ford. I think that he is essentially, he's Ed Harris. He's Ed Harris in Truman Show. That's fascinating. What was Ed Harris's character's name in Truman Show? I totally forget now, but he was playing God with Truman and essentially dictating the course of his story. And now you have Anthony Hopkins playing that role, and Ed Harris is a character in it. That's great. That's great. I love that. That's really fascinating. Cool. I wrote down in my notes here that Westworld has now become the type of story that you can't predict anymore. It's just because it keeps evolving. It evolves with each new episode, and so it's not going to follow a linear path that a normal show would watch, where you could be like, oh, now we're going to get to the point where this happens. It just keeps growing and growing and growing, and I love it for that. Like, I think that that's fantastic. I want it to keep doing that. I'm going to stop trying to outguess the show and just strap in and go along for the ride, because I'll be fascinated to see where the people are taking us, not just over the course of the last few episodes of this season, but also into season 2 and as we get into 3. I think I saw somebody say in the comments, and thank you guys for not spoiling the show so far in the comments, because I do go down there and sort of interact and want to play along. And now that I'm deep into the season, I can start responding to people, and we can go through some educated guesses of things that are going to happen. But I appreciate you guys not ruining where the show is going. Someone said in the comments that they think that it's structured to be a 5-season story. I don't know if that's true or not. If that is, that's cool, because I like shows that have a predestined ending that they kind of know that they want to work towards. And a show that just sort of floats along trying to figure out its way as it goes is harmful. So hopefully Westworld is one of those ones that knows its story and wants to tell it, as long as HBO allows it to sort of play it out. So anyway, we're going to finish up season 1. We have episodes 8, 9, and 10 to come. We'll dive right back into season 2, and we'll see where the story continues to go. But this was a tremendous episode with really great twists, fantastic reveals, and I think we're setting up to see some explosive things for the last 3 episodes of the season. Make sure that you don't miss a single one of them by hitting subscribe, turning on your notifications, and coming back here immediately when we post the next episode of our Westworld reaction.